This is going on long enough. This guy's been gone for weeks. No calls, no texts, no social media, nothing. We need a new top 5 this week. You two, think of something.
Us?
Hey, Heather. So I was thinking, since it's Valentine's Day this week, maybe we should do a love-themed top 5. Like top 5 movie smooches.
No.
Okay. Top 5 love songs.
No.
Top 5 Nicholas Sparks movies.
Oh, no. Walter is nowhere to be found. We should do something different, something unique, like a gaming top 5.
Ooh, okay. How about top 5 dating sims?
You play dating sims?
Not really.
You know, we should play Doki Doki Literature Club.
Ooh, okay. Is that a love game?
Yes. Hey, listen. Valentine's Day is a cheesy manufactured holiday that I would rather not dedicate a whole episode to.
Well, excuse me, princess. What do you think we should do?
Well, I haven't been able to put down Breath of the Wild since I started playing it. Maybe we should tackle one of Nintendo's most famous franchises. I'm Heather Roos.
And I'm Aiyanna Wade.
And these are the top 5 Legend of Zelda games.
The Legend of Zelda has been running for over 30 years. In that time, we've gotten some real gems and a few flops. It's hard not to call it one of the most influential gaming franchises ever.
This list was hard to put together. There are so many Zelda games that raised the bar and even revolutionized the way that we play games.
So, let's battle our way through the best of the best in this legendary franchise.
Number 5, The Legend of Zelda. The game that started it all, but not technically the first game in the continuity of the Zelda world. Actually, it's one of the last ones. Sorry, it's a bit complicated. The Legend of Zelda was released in 1986 for the NES. Players control Link as he tries to find the pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom to save Princess Zelda from the evil Ganon. 30 years later, and these characters are still the focus of the games and have become icons in the gaming world. Some of my first video game related memories involve sitting in my cousin's basement watching him play this game. It was mesmerizing. He would play while my siblings and I would draw and consult maps. It was unheard of for a game to have such an open-ended explorable world. This was one of the first games on the NES that used a top-down perspective rather than a side-scroll. This allowed the developers to expand the world. Players were challenged to discover this innovative fantasy setting. Challenged being one of the key terms. This game barely told players where they needed to go and what they needed to do. Players could easily run into a monster that they were not equipped to battle, making instant death almost a guarantee. This was one of the most frustrating and wonderful things about it. This game was also one of the first NES cartridges with a save file. Could you imagine starting this game from the beginning every time you played? Admittedly, The Legend of Zelda has not held up great against the test of time in terms of depth, story, and gameplay. However, you have to pay it respect for completely revolutionizing games for years to come.
Number 4, Majora's Mask. This game was one of the most unique installments in the Zelda series. It was darker, stranger, and smaller than most. Majora's Mask was released in 2000 for the N64. It heavily borrowed technically from Ocarina of Time using some of the same engines and coding. This allowed the development team to really play around with themes and concepts. The team really wanted to examine how characters reacted to the approaching end of the world and how they would spend their last 3 days. This created a different tone to the game, something more macabre and challenging, from the light, hopeful colors to dark contrasts, from angry chickens to certain death. In this game, Link is stuck in a parallel universe called Termina, reliving the same 3 days. Skull Kid has stolen a powerful artifact called Majora's Mask. It possesses Skull Kid. He then causes the moon to fall slowly towards Termina, destroying it completely. The eerie grin on the literal face of the moon still creeps me out. It definitely added a sense of impending doom. As players replayed the days, they learned new tricks, tips, and secrets to stopping Skull Kid. It was a puzzle to track down certain characters. You had to learn their schedules and needs. One of the most important elements that this game added to the franchise was that of a time limit. Players no longer could explore the world at their leisure. Time mattered. It was frustrating, yet rewarding. There was nothing more satisfying than beating a boss with barely any time to spare. Although it was an odd game, it still had compelling characters and a heartfelt story, with the new element of time adding urgency and a new level of puzzle solving. It was innovative and unique, the perfect follow-up to Ocarina of Time.
Number 3, A Link to the Past. In 1991, Nintendo released the highly anticipated third game of the Zelda series. There was pressure on this game to do well after Link's adventure didn't quite recapture the magic of the original, and it definitely delivered. From the moment you start the game, it's obvious that you are about to embark on an epic journey. You awake on a stormy night to the voice of Princess Zelda. You follow your uncle to the castle where you find him mortally wounded. You take his sword and your quest begins. The opening sequence added a level of atmosphere and storytelling that had been absent from the original game. The story flourishes through great pacing and challenging dungeons. This game grew the world of Hyrule even further. The scale of the game at the time of its release was almost unthinkable. To this day, it is still considered a large and diverse world. Another element about A Link to the Past that stands out is the graphics. Even playing it now leaves me in awe of the top-notch pixel art that went into this game. The music was also great, giving us many themes that are still used and instantly recognized as a part of the franchise. This game also gave us one of the most iconic swords in game history, the Master Sword. A Link to the Past basically defined the formula for Zelda games for decades to come. It is worth a playthrough even now and has long surpassed the test of time. For me, it is without a doubt the best 2D Zelda game there is.
Number 2, Breath of the Wild. In 2017, the Legend of Zelda franchise came to the Nintendo Switch with a triumphant Breath of the Wild. This game went back to the roots of the franchise, creating a beautiful, immersive world for you as Link to discover and explore. The world that the designers have created is absolutely breathtaking. As much as it is reminiscent of the original games, it completely deviates from the norms established in A Link to the Past. Breath of the Wild really and truly sends you as Link into the wild. The world is massive, 12 times larger than Twilight Princess. It focuses less on giving the players a linear path and storyline. Instead, it really focuses on the environment, allowing for a more open-world sandbox feel to the game. This is what really makes the game special. There are endless possibilities. I loved the cooking system that was added. I spent way too much of my time throwing things together in a pot and seeing what stat-boosting concoction I could come up with. Breath of the Wild could easily occupy you for hundreds of hours. I can't wait to see where they take the franchise from here.
And the number 1 best Legend of Zelda game, Ocarina of Time. This game was Zelda's transition into the third dimension, and while some franchises struggled, this game flourished. Released in 1998 for the N64, Ocarina of Time once again followed Link through Hyrule as he tries to stop Ganondorf from collecting the Triforce. This time with the added twist of time travel, which has now become a staple of the franchise. As the title implies, Link also uses an ocarina. Players must learn melodies that give them unique abilities and powers, resulting in one of the best soundtracks in the franchise. This game revolutionized 3D gameplay, adding Z-targeting, better camera controls, and other context-sensitive controls. It was a beautifully built game with an engaging world, despite the flaws of the water temple. The story is compelling and emotional. It added more cinematic cutscenes than we had ever seen before in a Zelda game. This allowed the game to become more immersive and truly focus on the story. I could play this game over and over and never tire of it. I fell completely in love with it again when it was re-released for the 3DS. It is a must-play for all gamers to truly experience it for yourself. Ocarina of Time is a masterclass in gameplay, design, music, and story. It will always hold a special place in my heart.
We want to know what you guys think. What's your favorite Legend of Zelda game? What other gaming content would you like to see? And what would you like to see us cover next on this show? Leave us a comment down below.
Remember to keep sharing your theories about what happened to Walter using the Where's Walter hashtag on social media. You can find me on Twitter at Heather Roos, Instagram at HRoos, or Twitch, twitch.tv/Heather Roos.
And you can find me on Facebook as Aiyanna Wade or everywhere else as Awesome Aiyanna. That's it for today. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Explain Doki Doki Literature Club to me.
Okay, so there are these 3 girls and... I'm sorry, I really have to take this. Why don't you just meet me outside in a couple minutes and we'll go grab some lunch?
Yeah, no worries.
Hey, are you ready? Where do you want to go for lunch?
What? Lunch? Oh, great. Let's get some sushi!